Hello, hello. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna make sure that you guys can hear me okay. Somebody start giving me some thumbs up, things like that. Can you guys hear me okay? And we'll go from there. I am coming to you live from my car because I got held up at my B brand office today. So we'll make it work though. All right, can you guys hear me? Yay. Okay, cool. I've got some thumbs up. Awesome. Okay, so if at any time you guys can't hear me, just let me know and I will make sure to try to redirect myself, and hopefully my computer doesn't die. We're improvising here today. So I am so excited, you guys. I get to chat with you today about how to use our tracker. And as we walk through that, I'm also going to share with you just tips and ideas of how to use it and how to utilize it best in your business. And I'm going to try to make it quick because I know we said we're going to try to keep these within 20-30 minutes, and I don't want to take up all your time, but I just get carried away. So ask me any questions. I've got my phone up next to me so I can see messages and things there, and let's get started. So I am speaking of those of you guys who got your first week's prize that we did. They just got to my office. Check this out. So we have these awesome planner pads of the tracker that some lucky ladies are going to be getting, and you just take it and rip it off. There's one for every week of the year in here, and just super cool to be able to have it and not have to print it out every single week. So, but this is what I'm going to walk through. So if you have it with you, grab it. That way we can chat about it. And I'm going to share my screen. That way you guys are able to actually see it as we go. Somebody give me a thumbs up. Let me know if you guys can see that, and we'll go ahead and get started. So as we walk through this, this is such an awesome tracker, and I cannot take full credit for it because I definitely collaborated on this with some of the other coaches in my upline, but it's amazing. And I am all about using the bat tracker, but I also think there's something awesome about having everything in one place. And what I love about this weekly success tracker is it really gives you a lot of ideas about how to stay on track and how to use, just all the things that you need to do daily. So one of the biggest things that I love on this tracker is that you're going to see this star up here. And this star denotes some of the most important things that you need to do on those busy days, right? We all have crazy busy days. We all have, maybe you have kids, maybe you have a crazy job. There's going to be days where you can't get everything done. And that's where you need to, as the CEO of your business, make sure that you are doing the income producing, the business producing activities first, right? It's really easy to get caught up in making pretty slides or trying to do a bunch of other things, but really there's specific business activities that actually move your business forward. And these are some of the things that I've denoted on here with a star. So you're going to start this out, right? You've got put your week in there, your daily business hours. You guys, one of the best things you can do is set business hours. Not only does it help you to feel less overwhelmed, it creates structure, and it also helps you to communicate that with your family, your kids, your spouse, and it is just going to help you align your goals a little bit better. So try to, the best you can, have those business hours for yourself and stick to them so that you can respect your time, but that you can also respect your husband or your wife's time. Because that matters a lot too, the people that you love the most. Then your daily unplugged and personal family time, there's a little heart next to it. I want you just to color that in, right? Every single, or give it a check or something every single day while you are creating, right? And if you're building a big business, we want to do all the things, right? We want to work really hard. We want to make sure that we're doing all the business tasks, but also we want for you guys to remember that unplugging and spending time with your family, that is also a very, very important thing. And it's also very necessary. So I want for you to really be focusing on doing that as well. And then give us a big check up here on the star when you have planned out your week ahead. If you are not spending time on the weekend, whether it's Saturday morning or it's Sunday night, planning ahead a little bit, you guys are missing out. If you are going to own a very successful business, you have to be proactive instead of reactive. And that is something where trackers come into play. That's something where just spending that little bit of time and saying, hey, honey, I need an hour on Sunday morning before we go to church, for me to just lay out all the things that I need to do so that I can really be present today, right? I do that all the time. That helps me to really know what's coming, helps me to think of my posts. It helps me to know, what tasks I need to do and kind of batch them into the certain days, all that kind of stuff. So be proactive. This C-type goal card up at the top, I want for you here to write your goal of what you will be, right? This is speaking into existence what you are working towards. It's not something you've already achieved. It's not something you have already. It's what you want to cultivate. I'm happy and grateful now that fill in the blank. What is it? What is it that you're working for? That I am able to be home 100% of the time with my babies, or I am able to, pay off our, that now that I have paid off our debt in full, whatever it is, that's going to be for you to decide. But I want for you to be really intentional and cultivate that belief that you have done this thing, right? This is that goal that you're working towards, but you're going to act as if you've already achieved it. All right, now let's dig into the nitty gritty, right? So this is like the business activity tracker, right? We've got the 4 vital behaviors. And one of the biggest things is be a product of the product. Take care of you first. We cannot serve, we cannot be our best if we are not taking time to intentionally do the things that we need to fill our cup first. I promise you, if you are not filling your cup first, you will have overwhelm. You will have moments where you want to quit. You will have loss of vision and drive and grit. And that is not what we want for you. So this business is awesome because it's very simple, because it starts with you. It starts with your journey first. So gratitude and affirmations, visualizing. If you guys haven't taken time to write out your vision of what you want for, the next year, yes, in your business, yes, but in relationships, in business, in finances, in how you want to feel, that is powerful. We want for you to read that every day, affirm yourself every day, write out. One of the things that I do daily is I write out 5. I draw like a line down a sheet, or I have a planner pad that I use, but you can also just use a sheet of paper, or heck, turn this sheet over, right? And draw a line down the middle. And on one side, on the left side, write out 5 things you're grateful for. And on the right side, write out 5 affirmations, right? I am a strong and confident CEO. I am a intentional mother. I am a attentive, loving, and listening wife. What are those things that you're grateful for, but also affirm yourself in the present tense. Personal development, you guys, notice it has a star. It is non-negotiable. You have got to feed your mind if you are going to have any chance of being successful in this business, any chance of being a coach that does big things. Because this business, while it is so simple, it is not necessarily easy, right? It's hard to get no's. It's hard to have people read your message and then not respond, right? That's never going to feel good. That's just kind of part of being human. And so that's why we want to make sure that you are equipping yourself in the way that you need to be mindful, to be intentional, and to be a leader, right? In your business, whether you feel like a leader or not, you are. From the minute that you sign up a coach or a client, you are now a leader, even if it's a family member. And that is something that you have to constantly develop in yourself. I will say personal development was like the number one thing I thought was a joke when I started coaching, because I came from a family that we didn't communicate, and having conversations and working through problems and things like that was not something that I was ever taught to be a good thing. And so I had to really struggle through getting intentional with personal development. And honestly, it was the number one thing that had me fall in love with this business aside from the community. I fell in love with feeling better about myself. I fell in love with having more confidence, with my marriage being better. It just changed everything for me. So personal development is huge, and it's also personal. So if you feel like whatever you're reading or listening to right now is not feeding you, then reach out to your coach or reach out to somebody else so we can suggest something that's going to better serve you where you are. Your workouts, this is kind of a no-brainer. You guys know that. Do your workout daily, right? It's a non-negotiable. Again, we can't feed others until we feed ourselves. Shakeology, Performance Line Nutrition, again, another non-negotiable. Do the things that we teach others to do, right? When you are starting this business, a lot of you guys are newer coaches. So as you start sharing, and being really consistent. This is the stuff that is so important because it's the stuff that you can control. It is your business, it is your journey. And if you're doing each of these things, the gratitude, the personal development, workouts, nutrition, all this stuff, this is stuff that you can control, and it's stuff that you can turn right back around and share it on social media. One of the number one things I hear from new coaches is, but I don't know what to post. I don't know what to share on my stories and things like that. Yes, you do. You're already doing it. So here you go. You just went through 5 different things right here. Personal development. Awesome. You read it, you listened to it. How about you turn that back around, pop it in your stories, give me a screenshot or a boomerang of the inside of your personal development book, the passage that you read, and let people also engage in that instead of just saying, hey, I read my book, right? If I'm scrolling, that does nothing for me. But if I'm scrolling and I see that you asked me to hold down on the screen to read this, I'm going to want to hold down on the screen and read it too, right? You will not believe how many people I have been able to share my daily devotionals with, my daily personal development with. And that has led to so many people, coming to Jesus or learning about personal development, and it's changing their marriage or changing their self-confidence. It's just so cool. And so you never know who you can help by doing that very simple thing that is a new coach task. Your workouts daily, as you're starting to post these workouts, I want for you to constantly think through the mindset of, if I post this, does somebody get value from it? Like maybe write that down, right? If I post this, if I share this, is somebody getting value from it? Because if they're not, then let's reassess why you're posting it. And so for me, I live a lot of my life kind of a couple hours behind the scenes. So like I'll take boomerangs, I'll take pictures and stories, but I don't post them really till after the fact. One, it helps me be in the moment more, but two, it also allows me to then actually make it more valuable. So instead of feeling tempted to just toss up a couple workout moves or a couple workout videos, instead you'll see that I share a story with it. Okay, maybe I've got 4 slides of workout clips that I'm sharing. Maybe it's that I'm talking about these different moves, or maybe it's that I talk about how I really struggled getting to my workout today, but with accountability from my group or my coach or whatever, I showed up and this is how I feel now. That before, during, and after kind of vibe can totally work for sharing your workouts. Talk to me about why you never used to work out before or what you used to do before. Then bam, now you're coaching. Now you're committed to this journey. What are you experiencing? And now where are you headed, right? And now I can't wait to help more women feel X amount of feelings. I feel this way. Whatever it is, you can always take people on a story. And so again, that's more valuable. No, I'm not necessarily maybe asking them to join me in that moment, but I'm allowing them a moment to connect with me in a real and raw and sensitive way. And honestly, after every single workout post that I do, I always have like a boomerang or some kind of selfie of some sort. And that's where I have a swipe up, or before I had to swipe up a email box to say, hey, like, have you ever felt this way too? Or like, could you ever use accountability like this? Drop your email here, swipe up here. I'd love to chat with you about my February boot camp. Really easy, non-scary way to invite. Okay, so keep that in mind when we get to the inviting section. Shakeology, we just talked about that same thing, right? Instead of just saying, boom, had my shake, how about you tell me a little bit about Shakeology? Don't know about Shakeology? Awesome. We have an FAQ that you can go to. We have 3 steps to share Shakeology PDF guide in the back office. Go through that, do that, be able to share about Shakeology really, really quickly. Maybe it's that you want to talk about the ingredients in there and how it's the equivalent of like 7 salads and how you could never get all this, in your body by eating that many vegetables a day, but this is what it's doing for you. However, and whatever it is that you want to share, one thing that I do that helps me a lot to be able to do this quickly and on a whim is in my notes app. For the first time, I'm going to share about Shakeology, and I go and I jot down what it is that I want to write. Maybe it's all the different ingredients. Maybe it's, something that I have experienced with Shakeology, and I just have it in my notes app so I can easily copy and paste that every week when I'm sharing about Shakeology. Okay, again, adding value instead of just a pretty picture of a shake. I'm talking about the added benefits. You guys catch my drift, how I'm talking about value, and we haven't even gotten to the next section of yet of what you're posting, but how valuable is it, the things that we're already doing in our day-to-day life because of coaching? Okay, then we've got our check-ins, we've got our engaging in challenge groups and things like that. Again, very important, right? This is part of coaching. If you are a coach, you're here because you want to help yourself and you want to help other people. So show up every single day, check into your challenge group, show me that sweaty selfie, talk about what's going on in your groups. You'll find that as you start to share, and if you're getting a lot of kickback on groups, or you're getting a lot of kickback on, nobody wants to join me for this challenge group, or they don't understand what it is that I'm talking about, a way to kind of assess that is, how are you sharing about it in your stories and in your posts? Are you talking about what goes on in them? Are you connecting with them and letting them like see a scroll through of your challenge group? Are you letting them see that, check out all these files that they get and these resources when they join, and look at all these women checking in and what that looks like? All of these things add a lot of value, instead of you just saying, oop, here's me, like here's a boomerang selfie, I just checked into my group. People are like, what group? What are you talking about? What do you mean? What happens in a group, right? While questions are good, you also want to add value very simply and make it easier on yourself, because what I'm going to talk about in a second about expanding and connecting and inviting, all of this value that you're adding by just simply showing up for your own journey is going to make the inviting and connecting 10 times easier. Okay, so let's move through again. You're going through, you're checking all the boxes, all that jazz. Let me know if you have any questions while I'm going into. I know I'm talking fast. um, for your business essentials, okay, these are the income producing activities, right? We do this tracker because we want for you to stay on track. We do this tracker because we want for you to be doing all the little things that need to happen so that you can have a successful business. There's a lot of fun, fluffy, frilly things that you can do as a coach, but they're not always the things that actually are going to bring you business. And that's where you have to kind of draw the line, especially for me. Backstory on myself, I was a teacher before I became a full-time coach. And so gosh, I had to spend all kinds of time constantly going, between all the different, little blocks of time that I had. And so I had to really focus on what are the income producing activities that I was able to do, because that's the stuff that was going to be very, very important. So let's talk about this. We've got expand your network, right? Follow or friend at least 20 people a day. Okay. This is where you are expanding and talking to more people. One of my favorite ways to do this, of course, look at other large, accounts, or maybe if you're on Facebook, go to friends of friends and follow them based off of that. But one of my favorite ways to do this is to go, and I primarily build my business on Instagram. Maybe you guys can let me know if you do more Instagram or Facebook, but for me, I like to expand my network on Instagram. And so I go to large accounts. A good opportunity for you to do this would be for you to jot down a couple brands, influencers, things like that that you really connect with, and have that list in your notes app. Okay, so maybe do that today. That's a homework if you haven't done that. And what I do is I go to those large accounts. So say for example, it's let's say it's this, let's say Carrie Underwood. It's always like my example. For some reason, she always pops in my head first. I don't know why, don't ask me, but let's do Carrie Underwood. Okay, so I love Carrie Underwood. I'm going to go to her page, and in this little bit of time, I am going to go to her page and look at some of the posts that just reach out to me, right? I love this. I love this, picture that she posted, or maybe she looks incredible, or she's telling a story about motherhood, whatever it is. And I am going to just go down the list, and I'm going to go follow people that look like I would vibe with them. Okay, not crazy dudes, not a bunch of weird accounts, but like just on a quick whim, this is an easy way to just go and follow some people that are that look like I could connect with them, right? I'm going to follow them. When I see them responding back to me, I am going to reach out to them and send them a quick message. Hey, Holly, this is going to sound so funny, but I followed you because I saw that you were on Carrie Underwood's page, liking some of her posts, and I just love connecting with other women who love country music, right? This is obviously a very extreme answer, but if you were going to follow a mom account or a brand that you really love, same thing. Hey, Holly, I saw that you followed, Cozy Baby or whatever, and I love connecting with other moms. I just wanted to say hi. I share a lot of motherhood and fitness on my page. I'd love for you to connect with me there. Whatever it is, super simple. And the cool thing about Instagram is like, that's not weird at all. It's not weird at all to connect with other people there, because that's what we're all there for. We're all there to connect and vibe with other people that are like us. Okay. So it's a really easy, simple way to say how to expand your network. So Don't come to us and say you don't know how, because I just gave you an option of how you can really easily expand your network, okay? Of course, going to hashtags, looking at hashtags and looking at some of the posts. Again, though, you got to get specific to who it is that you want to connect with. Do not go to Fit Mom. Do not go to Fitness Mommy. Do not go to even Postpartum Journey or Postpartum Mom. You're going to find a lot of coaches there because we all look through the same stuff, right? We all kind of hashtag some of that same stuff. So the sooner you can really hone in on very specific to your people that you want to connect with, it's going to be easier to find people who are not coaches, okay? So that's your aim. Give yourself a timer on, put a timer on for 10 minutes, whatever it is, and don't get carried away. Be done, get in, get out, and be done, okay? Sort new friends into a collection. Now, this is something that I do, and I will share the video so that it helps you with this. It makes it a little bit more sense. But what you can do is say, I'm following all these people, okay? I'm gonna go and I'm gonna push them, the little like save little library button, like when you're on their picture and they're on the top, the far right of the picture, there's like that little ribbon looking thing. Click save and it'll let you add to a collection. What I do by month is I have my February collection, and in there, anybody that I follow that I want to connect with in February, they go into that bucket. Okay, so I've got them all in there, and I have now added those new friends of mine into this collection, because then what I want to do with this is throughout the week, throughout the month, and you can do this by week or by month. Okay, so I'll show the video with you guys because that might help you. I'm going by it really quickly, but the next section on here is to connect with new friends and collections for 20 minutes. Okay, so this makes it really simple because I've done the hard part first. I've done the part of pulling my people into a collection. So I'm going to go to that February collection. You can find that by clicking those 3 lines and going to where it says saved. And in there, you're going to open up collections. And underneath the saved collections, I'm going to see all my people there. Okay, so I'm going to click on that one picture that I saved of this new girl, Holly, that I just started following. And I'm going to comment on some of her stuff, right? I'm going to connect with her, maybe like a couple pictures, connect on her stories. Again, just being a friend. And you've got a time block for yourself, 20 minutes. One of the biggest things that trips up new coaches is they spend lots of time on one thing and then you don't have time for the other stuff. So 20 minutes, guys, that's all we want you to do. All right, now we want you to have an aim for sending at least 5 challenge group invites. Honestly, if you want to build a big business and you want to be very successful, you want to become a part of the top 1% of the company, you're going to need to do more than 5 invites, but this is still a baseline, okay? So at minimum, if all you had time for, 5 invites a day, okay? And this is for challenge groups, and the one underneath that is going to be for coach invites as well, okay? Now, one very easy way that I love to talk about inviting to my new coaches is this. Do you guys remember where up here, we just talked about taking care of us first, right? We talked about doing all these things, that gratitude and personal development and our workouts and being really intentional with all of that time. Okay, we've been really focused on showing up for ourselves and turning that right back around to value in our stories and in our post. The reason that is so important, if you can get so good at documenting your journey, like it's just a piece of your journal, right? From the time I was a new coach, I was so afraid of being a salesperson, and I have like 100% built my business on attraction marketing, which is what we're talking about, right? Is showing up and sharing your story very openly and honestly and consistently in order to create connection and to create that compound effect of people being there for a long time and seeing this journey and seeing all the ins and outs and being like, I want to be a part of that, right? Because I'm sharing all of the life, all of the other things about me. And then those little commercial breaks of me popping in there with like, here's my personal development. This is why it's valuable. Here's my workout. Here's my story with it. This is why it's valuable. If you need this, here's an invite. Then I go about my life. Here's my, I'm on a call today, right? I'm listening to a training. I'm at my lunch break teaching, but you know what? Like, even though I love teaching full time, this has been something that has made me an even better teacher because it's given me something that I can pour my creativity into. Commercial break right there. Need that too? Swipe up, right? I'm giving all these little commercial breaks of the work activities that I do as a coach into just the other daily routine things that I do just as a normal mom, crazy business owner, right? So I've done all this stuff, right? I'm being very intentional with what I'm sharing, and I'm adding a lot of value with what I am posting in my stories, not just popping it in there, but being mindful to think about, can I make this valuable for somebody, right? If I'm sharing food, am I giving them a recipe? If I'm out to a restaurant and I share a boomerang of my salad, could I take a boomerang and save it for later? And then when I get home after I put my kids to bed, pop that up and say, I had a really amazing dinner tonight at this restaurant. I want to give you guys a couple tips real quick of how you can eat out at a restaurant and find something healthy that still fits in your meal plan, right? And I'm like, so here's an idea, grab a side of brown rice, get the vegetables steamed with no oil, and I can give those little tips. You see how that would be so much more valuable than me just sharing a boomerang of my salad or my fish with my quinoa and broccoli from whatever steakhouse, right? You can see how that's more valuable. So constantly thinking through that mindset of value, which brings me back to the invites, the challenge group invites and the coach invites. If you've done the back work of showing up daily and being very, very consistent with showing up in your stories all the time, right? And adding that value when you get to this section the next day, right? You've done all this that day, that next morning, right? Or whenever it is that you're going into your tracker here to do your invites. Guess how much easier it is for you to go and invite when you've been intentional about making posts and intentional in your stories every single day, doing all these things. It's a lot easier. Okay. So what you're going to do is go to here. I've just shared 4 clips of my workouts, right? I've shared a little bit of a story with it. And at the end, I had a boomerang. And if you have a swipe up, awesome. But if you don't, you put a little question box that says drop your email here if you need accountability to, or if you want me to reach out to you about my group, whatever it was. Okay. So those 4 stories and that boomerang, I'm going to swipe up on them. I'm going to look at who watched them all, right? Who was a consistent watcher, who maybe put their email in, of course, but who was a consistent watcher. And so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on that person. Hey, Sarah, I saw you watching my stories about my workout this morning or yesterday. I have absolutely loved this journey. And I don't know if you were just passing through or if you're interested, but I would love to send you more information about my February boot camp. I have a couple spots open and I think you'd really love it. What do you think? Super easy invite, right? Not cold, it's warm, right? Take out the idea of cold invites because we are creating warm invites from being intentional in what we share every single day. So you shared all this stuff, they are watching it. That means they are a warm invite. So you're going to reach out to any of those people still watching your stuff. They don't answer back, reach out to them again in a couple days. Hey, Sarah, I know I messaged you a couple days ago, but I still see you watching my workouts. And girl, I've got a couple spots in my boot camp. I'd love to have you in it. What do you think? Super easy, right? Until they block you, until they say no, until they say, get the heck out of here and stop messaging me. Honestly, why would you not keep reaching out to them? Your main goal is to help people and you want to have them become a part of this community that's changing your life. So if you're showing up, it's a super, super easy way for you to connect to people. And it's the same thing with coaching, right? If you're doing a good job of sharing when you're working a little bit, when you're on a call, what it's doing for you, why you're enjoying it, all those things and that before, during, and after feeling. Before I became a coach, man, I was just struggling, right? I almost like every other day, I'm constantly sharing about before I was a coach because this business is changing my life. So why would I not share that, right? So constantly thinking before I was a coach, this is how I was feeling. I'm on this call today and I'm so fired up. I'm so excited. And I'm just so grateful that it's something that, pours into my life. And I've started to make some really awesome friends. And I finally see a vision for my life. Is that something that you could get into too? Whatever it is. So you can see how it'd be really intentional to do that in your stories. And then again, when you get to this invite section of coach invites, while you're still, of course, searching for people and you're connecting with people and finding good coaches out there that meet your avatar, another really easy way when you're doing your tracker is to go to those stories, swipe up. Who's watching? Who's watching you share about your coach journey, right? And reach out to them. Hey, I see you watching and commenting on my stuff when I'm on team calls or when I'm, talking about my story through coaching. Have you ever thought about becoming a coach? I'd love to share more about my story with you. So easy, right? So easy. Okay, and then the last part of this, income producing activities is just responding to conversations, right? Clear out that inbox. Not only does that keep that engagement up, but it also keeps you just on top of things, right? You want to make sure that if somebody is interested in something, they're getting a response from you, because if they don't get it from you, chances are they'll go to somebody else who answers them first. Not to say you got to be on your inbox all the time, but just be intentional about trying to spend time each day clearing it out. Okay, so now let's talk a little bit about social media, which I totally just kind of talked all about this, but let's go in. Okay, let's dive in. Any questions about any of this so far? Is this helpful? I know I'm talking fast, but let me know if there's any questions that you guys have. Let me look at that. Not looking at a thing. Oh, okay. So somebody did ask about um, if I'm going to add a coach into somebody's bod group that I'm not hosting, and I'm not like the creator of that group, how do I send them an invite? So technically, right, you just send their email in to that coach hosting it. So like, for example, if it was me and I was hosting the group, I would just tell my girls, send me their email, I'll add them in. But also, you guys, y'all have to remember, as new coaches, whether you have your own group or not, whether you have a team name yet or not, you are a part of a team. You're a part of my team. You're a part of Holly's team, Bonnie's team, Nicolette, Sammy. You're a part of a bigger team, and that is your team. So when you show up and you are sharing about your team and how awesome it is, you're sharing about your business, all this stuff, you act as if it is huge. I still remember some of my first posts when I was a new coach, and I'm like at my computer, I'm like about top of my team call. Like, I just love my team so much, and I am just talking as if I had the largest team of all. And I think I had like one coach and my husband, like, not even joking. And I spelled sneak peek wrong and everything. But you guys, you just fail forward. And if people feel your energy, that's what they buy into. That's what they want to be a part of. They want to be a part of that group. They want to be a part of that coach community, whatever it is. They vibe off of what you share. So, okay, staying in my lane. Sorry, I get really sidetracked. Okay, social media. Okay, good. This is helpful, you guys said. Okay, post with purpose on your main feed. Now, we could get it all into the Instagram algorithm and all kinds of stuff. There's always new trainings, always new things. Some people say post once or twice a day. Some people say post 5 times a day. I'll be honest, I don't really know. I have started to post a couple times a day. Back when I was a new coach, it was post 3 to 5 times a day. Back then, I had no vision for what I was sharing. I was like, here's my shake. Here's my water. Here's my workout. Here's me and my husband or my dogs. There was like no vision for any of it. So honestly, I would highly, highly, highly focus on being in your stories more than anything, and at least aiming to post at least 4 to 5 times a week. Okay. Once a day, if you can make it happen, because I think that is just creates that consistency and that habitual activity in your mind. But also, stories are very, very powerful, for just being consistent and letting people get to know you, right? That's the best part about it. So let's give you some ideas on, I'm kind of in this middle section here, of what you can share. And I talked a lot about these, but I really want for you guys to intentionally choose 3 to 4 of these things a day to be sharing. And you have to remember that just because you're a coach, what you share now is not all workouts and shakes. Okay. If that's what you thought, you're wrong. Okay. There's so much more to you. There's so many more cool things about, there's hobbies, there's talents, there's your family, there's what you do for a job, there's things that you like, your style, clothing, things you buy at Target, all of the stuff, right? Everything that makes you you, whether you think it's boring or not, is something that will allow connection with your followers. It's something that will allow connection with people who haven't even been brought to your page yet. And then what you think about is the coaching side of things. Those are your small commercial breaks in between. Okay. That's what I want for you to think about. So you've got your daily life, family interest, right? Things that just you do as a family. Maybe it's game nights on Fridays or Taco Tuesdays, whatever it is. Again, just family life things. Sharing about the product by showing you. We talked about that a lot, right? Painting a story with your workouts, talking about how you make your Shakeology, what it's done for you, meals, things like that, giving tips, all that kind of stuff. Talking about your challenge groups, okay? A couple times a week, scroll through that group. Talk about how easy it is to log in on the TV through your Roku. Talk about the resources that are in there and how easy it is that everything's in one app, right? Lots of easy ways to create value around a challenge group, so that when you do your commercial break of talking about your challenge group, you go to invite in a post about a challenge group, people are going to be more apt to want to know and actually put their info into that form or ask for more information, because they see you living it out every single day. Not only do they see you doing your workout, but they see you also talking about these groups and talking about being a part of it. And again, if you're not hosting it, that's okay. That doesn't mean you can't talk about it. You still talk about it just as if you were, right? All those resources are yours. All those group activities are yours. All those group challenges are yours. So own it and talk about it like that. Call to action, polls, question stickers. People love to give their advice and to give their opinion. So let them, right? I'm at Target, guys. I can't decide. I love both of these sweaters. Which one do you think I should buy? Or maybe it's at your, like today I'm going to do one, I'm working on some rebranding of things. Okay. And so I'm like, can you guys help me pick which one looks more like me? 1, 2, 3, or 4, right? A super easy way to just let people engage with you and also feel like they get to have a part in your journey, in your story. Question stickers are the awesome way to use for people putting in info, responding to something, and also dropping their email, okay, especially while you don't have this swipe up. Adding value, tips, tricks, recipes, we already talked about that. Showing your personality and entertaining. A great way to do this is your reels, right? If you're super funny, let people see that you're funny. Don't try to be like me or all poised like so-and-so, be you, because that's going to bring in the people that love you the most, right? And that are just like you. That's one of the coolest things that I know happens through this business. Like, for example, I just got back from hosting my retreat. And while it was a lot smaller than it could have been, a lot of it ended up being my coaches. And I'm sitting there watching them all around interact, engage, share their stories, and they are all just like me. And that's because I talk and I share just like how I normally am. And so I bring in the people that are just like myself. And that's one of the coolest parts about this business is you get to build a team that is just like you. Encouragement, gratitude, PD, we talked about that again. A really simple way to start sharing that, right? Sharing your business hustle behind the scenes. One of the main things that's going to help you connect to people who want to build a business like you. If you're just all fun and games and all like, oh my gosh, this business is great, love it, that does nothing, right? I want to see you sitting at your desk. I want to see your camera over here and you showing me a glimpse into your life where you're typing on the computer and you're on a call and like me, like I'm waving my hands everywhere because I talk everywhere and I'm talking about how I wake up early and I stay up late some nights. I'm in a grind because I have dreams and I have vision and I'm willing to work for them because it's allowing me X, Y, and Z. Right? If you share that business hustle behind the scenes, you're going to bring in people who are willing to work it with you. And if you're not sharing that and you're not getting girls that want to build the business, it might be because we need to reassess how you're sharing the business. And that's a great place to start. Workout clips and story caption. We just talked about that again. So again, if you forget all the things that I just blurbed out to you, it's laid out right here. And I want for you to choose a good 3 to 4 things every single week that you're going to do. Okay. And just be intentional with that and show up and be consistent. If you can do all of that in a day, even better, right? You're really creating that consistency. And then one other thing I wanted to kind of remind you guys about, especially as a newer coach, is to make sure you have a transformation picture up. I want for you to have that up in your last couple, your last kind of 6 to 9 pictures that you see when you pull up your Instagram. You want people to see that you're on a journey. So whether it's a side by side of your face, or maybe it's just like you and your spouse, side by side, and you're talking about a marriage transformation. It doesn't have to be a fitness transformation. I want you guys to remember that there's so many other ways that our lives are transformed in this journey, and that's beautiful to share about. So make sure that you're just showing up every single day, right, on your feed and your stories through the mindset of how am I educating? How am I loving on other people? How am I creating community? How am I adding value? How am I leaving somebody else's day and life better than how they were before they met me or how they were before they came here, right? That's so important and such a beautiful thing of what we do every single day. Then you'll find up here at the top, I go through post ideas, right? If you're just going to post once a day, then let's try to aim for making sure we have a wide range of topics, right? Coaching, fitness, family, a call to action for a challenge group invite, a lifestyle post, maybe you're a mom, so you're posting something like a motherhood quote, sharing your story, and then personal development and encouragement. The cool thing about this is as you start to be intentional with this, make sure you have Facebook memories and time hop. You'll be able to look back over years and see these great posts that you've made and recycle them. Write them in your notes app so you can transfer them over. And when you need to do, a share your story post next month, recycle that post again, right? Your story will be very similar in the beginning and hopefully it evolves and changes and you can add to the end of it. Okay, so just easy ways to make it easier for you. Bottom line here, this bottom section is fit this into the pockets of your day. These are the little other things that you're just going to pop into the little bits of your day that you have left, right? Checking into your coach message threads and making sure that you're staying in the loop on all the things going on. Okay. So this is easy to get caught up in, right? I need you to remember there's a lot of outside noise, right? There's a lot of notifications. There's a lot of coach message threads where people are blowing up about something. There's a lot of notifications in groups. I need you to stay focused, okay? I need you to promise me that. I need you to stay focused on the income and business producing activities in your business. And that is the stuff on this tracker. That is the stuff that is starred. That is all the things that I've spent extra time on today going through, because that is what's going to build your business. Chatting in a message thread is not going to create your business for you, right? That's helpful. You can ask questions, you can get support there, but then get in and get out and focus on what you need to do first, right? Build your business first. Responding to likes and comments on your post. When you post something, this is something that I've heard ups engagement. Okay, so stick with me. Make a post, right? And as people are commenting, respond to the comments. Don't like them. Okay, just respond to the comments. And then the next time that you make a post or that you make a reel or whatever, go ahead and go back to the previous couple posts and then go like all those comments that people wrote. You already responded to them, but go like to them. It's going to bump you back in their feed, and then go respond to comments on that post that you just made. Okay. So that's one way to really build some engagement, and also make sure that you are just consistent, right? You want to be a place that people can come and know that you're going to follow up with them. One of the top things that are the top comments that I get back from people who are on my page is, thank you for always responding to my comments. Thank you for always answering my messages. Like, there's a lot of other people that don't answer their messages, and I really appreciate that you take the time to message me back almost every time I ask a question. That is important to me. I have never outsourced my Instagram or anything to anyone, because that to me is like, wow, I can tell the power of my actions affects other people. So you want to be a place that people are getting value from, but then also share and then make sure that you're actually responding to them and being a conversational place. Checking into your team page, your success partner. Again, it's easy to start the scroll, look through all the pages and look at all the resources and all the things. Let me just remind you, yes, be notified, be informed, but don't get caught up in the scroll of trying to learn all the things. You guys have everything you need right here. You don't need to know everything to be successful. I promise you that, because that was me. I did not know everything. I did not have a coach really teaching me all these crafty tricks and things like that. I failed forward. I hosted my first group. I talked about having a massive team when I didn't have it. And I just owned and cultivated what I wanted out of this business. And that is one of your superpowers if you can nail it down quickly as a new coach. And then the last thing is the following up with anyone interested in challenge groups and coaching, right? Follow up is where the gold is made, right? That's where the success is. You can invite and message all day long, but if you're not tracking them and you're not making sure you've written them down somewhere, maybe it's while you don't have a system, maybe it's on the back of this sheet of paper, right? With their name, date, Instagram handle. If you're smart, you'll use like an Excel spreadsheet or something online where you can go in and put their name, their email, the date that you're talking with them, and maybe a little blurb about what you're talking about, so that you can go back and connect to them. Maybe you guys use the Rise Up planner or Holly's planner or, something else. But make sure that you're tracking these people that you're talking to, because if you're doing the hard work of sending these messages and inviting these new people and following new people, do yourself the favor of writing them down so that you can go and follow them up with everybody. For me now, I started my business with using pen and paper, and then I started using an Excel spreadsheet. Now I use Google Streak. So it'll evolve over time, and you figure out what works for you. Again, it doesn't matter as long as it works for you. Okay. So, but follow up with people. It's a great way to make sure that you have connected with people and follow back up with them. And one thing that helps me a lot with follow-ups, as I want to say this, is make sure that somehow in your conversation, when they've reached out or said, yeah, send me more information, and you send them a little bit more info and you say, hey, can I ask you why are you interested in joining this challenge group? Or why are you interested in becoming a coach? Like, what would it mean for you and your family? And getting that why, that little bit of the motive behind why they're interested, is very, very powerful. So that when you reach back out to them and you're following up with them. Hey, Sarah, I remember you were interested and you asked for information about this accountability group. I never heard back from you, but I just wanted to reach out again and make sure, see if there's anything I could do to answer any questions for you. But you told me that you really wanted to lose some weight for your wedding, or you told me that you really wanted to be able to look at yourself in the mirror and just love yourself again, and I want to be a part of that. So if there's still an ounce of you that wants to work through this, let me know, reach back out to me, and I'd love to connect with you, or I'd love to support you. I've got one spot left in my boot camp, and it's got your name on it. So if it's not the right time, just let me know, but I would really love to support you on this journey. Things like that, really, really powerful to connect that why back to them when you're following up with them. Okay, so again, that's one of those income producing activities, following up with them. At the bottom, we want for you just to assess the week, right? Did you watch the National Wake Up Call? Check. Were you on your team call? Check. Did you go through your sponsorship drill down to make sure all of your coaches are active as you guys are building and growing? Are you making sure that all your coaches didn't get populated to one leg, that you're being consistent and looking and seeing what you need? You guys are building to diamond. You need 4 coaches on each leg. You need an emerald on each leg. Be consistent and be intentional following all that and check that off. Okay, so then at the bottom, I want for you at the end of the week to jot down the numbers of lives that you've changed, right? That's your Success Club points. Those Success Club points are the metric that we use to measure the lives changed, but we want to focus on those lives, right? We want to focus on Holly signed up with a performance challenge pack. It was worth 2 points, right? I don't want to hear you guys say, I got Success Club, I got 2 points. I want to hear you guys say, man, Holly just signed up with me and I get to help change her life this month. You guys have to think of it through that mindset, because it is powerful when you do. And then jot down those points as you go. Those 2 points represents 1 life. Those 4 points, those 8 points, 2 lives, 3 lives that you get to have an impact in. The number of new challengers, right? Challengers can be, maybe they signed up with a BOD, all access, or maybe they signed up with a challenge pack, whatever it is, just start tracking the people that are coming in. It's so empowering to see that your hard work and you showing up consistently is allowing other people to become a part of this journey with you. Number of new coaches, same thing. Your weekly income, when that income pops up in your back office on Thursdays, jot that down. Okay, that's so cool to see it grow over time, and also to be able to be associated with the work of this tracker from that week, right? So you can see like, hey, this is the work that I put in this week, and look at what I made this week, which is not all about money, but money makes the world go round, and money allows you to be able to fulfill your purpose, allows you to be able to achieve your why, allows you to be able to fulfill your mission to help other people, whatever that is. So that's important, right? And then your top wins for the week and things that you learned from this week. Top wins, right? Things that you're like, man, I completed this tracker all 7 days, right? Or I showed up in my stories more than I ever had this week. Or I lost X amount of pounds. Or I got out of my comfort zone and I went live talking about my story. Whatever it is, right? Your wins. And then the things that you learned from this week. I learned that I need to wake up earlier. I learned that, I actually have a big fear of inviting. And so I'm going to tackle that this next week. Whatever it is that you learn, right? Get intentional and share this with your coach so that we can help you. When you guys come to us and you show us big sections out of this not filled out, we're able to really see, man, okay, this is where we need to work on. This is probably why you're not getting as great of engagement, or why you're not actually connecting with as many people. Or it allows us to also say, okay, so it looks like you're doing all the things. Let's talk about your mindset. Like, what kind of energy are you putting out there when you're sending your invites or when you're showing up daily? Let's try to work on that. So it just gives you some other ideas of how to use this. So I hope that helps. I just talked your ear off and totally went over time, but there's just so much to share about in this tracker, and it really has it all there for you guys. So I hope that is really helpful to walk through and give you guys some good insight on how to be just intentional when you're using it, right? I don't want you just to post your workout just to post your workout. I want you to post your workout to impact that mom who's struggling in motherhood and doesn't have 5 minutes to herself, but she's going to take the time, right? She doesn't have the time, but she's going to take the time for herself, and she's going to do it with her baby swirling around her because you showed her that she can do it, right? If you're going to push your personal development, I don't want to see that you're just reading another book. I want to see that you're reading this book and you're showing me why this is impacting you today, and that this is something that you struggled with, right? Every single thing that you share has an opportunity for you to connect with somebody else who's in that same place. And when you connect with somebody else that is in that same place as you, and they're connecting with you on all the other things you share about, you know, that you love vacuum lines, or that Target's your weak spot, or that you got 10 kids, or whatever it is, you know, that's the moment when they realize that you are the person that they want to join, because not only do they relate to you on so many other levels, they relate to you because you are consistent, and you are vulnerable, and you are sharing value, and you are showing up daily for yourself when it seems like you have no time, but you're going to commit to it anyways because it's important, and because it's changing your life, and because if it's changed your life, you know that it can change somebody else's. So I want for you guys to just think about all that. Go back through, maybe watch this again, as I know I walked through a lot of these things quickly. But the sooner that you guys can get good at sharing your story and adding value, man, it'll change your business, and it'll make inviting way less scary, because you are doing the hard part of matching it all up, right? You've got the back end work of this tracker stuff, but you got the front end stuff too, the pretty stuff, the fun stuff on your stories. But they have to go hand in hand. And if you're doing the stuff of, you know, showing up every single day and being very, very consistent, and really allowing people to feel like they are walking your shoes and a part of your journey, the back end stuff gets 10 times easier. The inviting, the connecting, the following up just gets easier, because you've given people a lot of opportunity to connect with you, but then also to get those small blips of commercial breaks and invites in your stories to make those real invites behind the scenes a lot easier. So okay, I'm done talking your ear off. I hope that was helpful. I will upload the recording as well to a YouTube link in case you guys want to be able to use that at another time. But if you have more questions, especially those of you guys who couldn't hop on during the day, because I know it's lunchtime, nap time, work time, all that kind of stuff, just let me know and I'd be happy to answer. But hopefully that was helpful, y'all. And I will talk to you soon.